Hi everybody, how you doing? This is J4Y. Gonna bring you Team Dota Talk scrimming out here. I'm actually not 100% sure about who the other team is, but you know, hopefully it'll be someone at least close to their level, and so we have like an interesting game going here. So you know, it's going to be definitely interesting. Like I said, it's just a scrim. You know, this isn't you know, a professional game by any means. So maybe we'll get some kind of interesting picks going. Perhaps, you know. By the way, if you're in the live chat, let me know if some of the settings are different. The sound, like if it's too soft or something, just give me a heads up. You know, I'll be sure to adjust it. So yeah, but like I said, J4Y. This is for the Dota Talk team. Thank you for tuning in for this. You know, hoping for a nice, close, even game. Of course, you know, no one wants to see those slaughterhouses. You know, as fun it is for the team that's doing it for a while, you know, you still want to try to squeeze the most out of these kind of games, if you will. So, you know, hoping for the best here. Everyone's loading into the game now. Just waiting on this BGTS and Tux to come in. Angel is, of course, you can recognize his Ghost of Gamer icon from just the loading screen here, and we're in. Okay, so it looks like the first ban and pick will go to the team here, the Radiant here. And like I said, I'm not sure what's exactly going to come out. If they're going to go with kind of what we're expecting in the meta, you know, your typical bans, and of course, actually, you see the Broodmother come out here. And I need to adjust my audio for sure. So if you give me 1 second here. I'm not hearing anything in game, so I need to do that. Okay. Alright, sorry, and I'm back. Had to make some quick adjustments here. This is kind of last minute for me to tune in. Yeah, Angel last minute was like, "Hey man, we're doing a game. We're in the lobby. You wanna, you know, jump right in here?" And I'm like, "You know what? Let's do this. I'll gotta get myself set up." And here I am, though. I think I'm ready to go finally for this matchup. So as you see here, we already got some bans coming out. We have the Broodmother and the Invoker coming out here for the Radiant. And on the other side, you see Darkseer and Lycanthrope. So off the bat, like I said, okay, it looks like we're going to kind of follow that normal meta, if you will. Kind of average pick, or average bans, I should say. Darkseer has been hunted down on a regular basis, as it is. No one really likes playing against him. He's got so much mobility. Great way to set up the team fights. Really easy way to farm the lane. It's all around, you know, really easygoing guy, and everyone just hates playing him. Lycanthrope, a jungler, very well feared. He can play in the lane as well, but either way, very strong presence. Once he gets that BKB, really difficult to stop in those team fights. He's just going to run around causing all sorts of mayhem, and you just want to kind of not be anywhere near him. And of course, that's why they decided to ban him here. Meanwhile, the Broodmother, no-brainer their agility, just going to push the lane out with ease. You know, and just constantly be a threat on a lane they have to worry about. And actually, Nature's Prophet here picked up first in a really quick counter pick, Chaos Knight. So I think they've already had in mind who they want to run this game. Nature's Prophet, of course, being a very logical first pick, being able to teleport around, gank, farm very easily in the neutrals, and just push so heavily in the mid to late game. You know, it's got a lot to worry about. And then, but like I said, that quick Chaos Knight pickup. Now, he's kind of relatively new to the competitive scene in Dota 2. Of course, not in Dota 1, but, you know, very, very strong hero. You know, has a really great initiation with the setup, as well as the Chaos Rift, to close the gap, if you will. And then, of course, his ultimate, creating those illusions, just, you know, doing tons and tons of damage, as well as pushing very well. So you get to look out for him. And then the Tidehunter comes second pickup now. That's going to be a setup, a nice support hero. I would think they're going to maybe consider go like a tri-lane. Maybe the Tidehunter helps set that kind of thing up. But it really depends how they want to go with it. It could go many different ways. So we're going to have to see how the Radiant responds to this kind of Tidehunter Chaos Knight. It is two melee heroes, but if they go a tri-lane with a nice third, like maybe a Crystal Main or Vengeful Spirit, you know, we'll have to see how they kind of want to run it. But another stun or slow would really add to that tri-lane effect. And now Enigma actually going to get picked up, and Queen of Pain. Okay, so we got 3 ranged intelligence heroes picked up right off the bat. What I noticed right away here is two possible different types of heroes could jungle. Both Enigma and the Nature's Prophet have that ability, but either can solo just as well. So it really is going to depend how they want to do that. Nature's Prophet, known to also be a really fierce laner, can just keep the pressure up, doesn't have too much trouble, farming safely, can teleport around, set up those ganks like he always does. So, might end up seeing him actually run the lane. But then again, Enigma, the same thing. If he goes up one-on-one with a hero with all his Eidolons, just doing tons of damage and pushing the lane, definitely a possibility here, too. So we're going to have to see how they decide to run it. We're still waiting on the third pickup here from the Dire. Now, like I said, they already have the Chaos Knight and the Tidehunter, and here is the Shadow Shaman. Now, that's an interesting pickup, especially at this point in the draft. Main reason for that is that it could be a support or solo mid, or even, the solo on the side. But, it's really going to depend how they want to go with that. Not a bad support if they do decide to go with like a Chaos Knight Tidehunter tri-lane. Get the nice Shackle down or the Hex. Followed up with a nice Gush from the Tidehunter to slow and reduce armor, then followed up with a Chaos Bolt. Oof, that's tons of damage on someone that's going to just, really easily take them out of the running. So either way, it could go really well. Quick Vengeful Spirit actually banned out here, so they're assuming that that's going to be probably run solo mid, which is very common. The Shadow Shaman I'm speaking, of course, about. So they're going to look maybe to pick off a support that they don't want to run. They don't want them to have in combination with the Chaos Knight and the Tidehunter. Definitely makes a lot of sense. So we'll have to see how that goes. Meanwhile, waiting on a ban here. We're not even into the bonus time. There's still plenty of bonus time left on the clock. So, nothing to really worry about. They're going to have to formulate here. They see there's no hard carry as of yet. I mean, Queen of Pain and Nature's Prophet are very strong in the late game. But they're nothing like a Faceless or an Anti-Mage, who are both still on the table as of now. So maybe they're going to look to maybe pick off one of the late game farmers that they're kind of concerned about. Now, when I'm noticing these teams right away, the Radiant has a pretty fair amount of push, in my opinion. With already the Enigma and Nature's Prophet, of course the Queen of Pain can also clear waves with really relative ease. So if they picked up something like a Lone Druid, fit that in somewhere in the lineup, that could just make so much insane pushing capacity on their side. So I wouldn't be 100% surprised if they're comfortable running that pickup, if that's what they decide to go with. And you see the Morphling ban, so like I said, kind of going with that hard carry ban. They don't like to be up against that Morphling already. And Windrunner, okay, Windrunner, the 5th ban here for the Radiant. And that makes a lot of sense. Honestly, it's another great support or soul side that, that could easily handle the lane against whoever they need to. Surprised actually she didn't get picked up in the first couple pick rounds. I mean, Windrunner just known to be, always on the scene. Very powerful with that Shackle shot, able to just line up some really good CC. And actually interesting here now, the Shadow Demon getting banned out. So, like I said, there isn't actually any support yet for the Radiant either. It's all either jungle or solo heroes for the most part. So, not a bad idea to pick off a support that they're not going to be up against. You could definitely see the Shadow Demon being really effective against a hero like Chaos Knight. Just so when you banish him away, he comes back, he's got illusions that are doing tons of damage to himself. That's going to cause a lot of, really big harassment and just something they just do not want to deal with. So of course they throw him away. So now we're back in the picks here. All those heroes are banned out. Now we're gonna be looking for at least a support and a carry, I would have to think. There's the support Lich. Very strong hero, of course. Able to keep control of the lane by using that sacrifice ability, as well as, of course, harassing very easily, with the Frost Nova, and then putting up that armor on top of that, making heroes like the Chaos Knight, gonna have to get through a lot more to really do some serious damage. So, we're gonna have to see how they run with that one. Meanwhile, we've got 2 more pickups left here. One's gonna be used here for the Dire. Not sure what they're gonna pick up here now. They have what I would believe to be their solo mid, a nice, decent to hard carry with the Chaos Knight, Tidehunter to use as a support hero, but they still got a lot of options. They really do. So it's going to be up to them to see, how they're going to run these things and what they're going to use instead. Really eating that bonus time. 25 seconds left on the clock. really going to come down here, having a little trouble deciding who they really want to pick up against this lineup. And like I said, it's a really powerful team fight lineup as it is, with the Enigma, with the Queen of Pain, and the Lich. And oh my goodness, here's the Clinks. Oh, that threw me off. I was not ready to call that one, but I like it. I like it a lot. They're going to throw that in the solo lane. You know, with the wind run, he's going to be able to get farm and escape really easily. Whoa, Ricky! Oh, wow. Yes. This is going to be an exciting match. I'm stoked. The Ricky pickup as their hard carry. Oh, I love it. You know, for so many reasons. You know, it's going to force the other team, of course, now they're going to have to buy dust when he hits 6 or have that true sight to be able to find him, because otherwise he's going to have perfect engages and it's going to be a real issue for them. The backstab scales so well throughout the game, doing extra damage based on his agility. It gets a diffusal blade to drain the mana of both the Clinks and the Chaos Knight, as well as, I mean, all these heroes. It's going to be a really strong pickup. And then, of course, that cloud, the smoke cloud that silences everyone. And Tinker, interesting. Okay. So now that makes me think Shadow Shaman is supporting when I was originally thinking otherwise. Yeah, so we're gonna hear. Okay, let's try to go here. The Radiant now with Nature's Prophet, Enigma, Queen of Pain, Lich, and Ricky. And then on the other team we got Chaos Knight, Tide Hunter, Shadow Shaman, Clinks, and the Tinker pickup. Tinker has been one of the most popular heroes recently. Really used well, you know, doing that pure damage with his laser, as well as those rockets hitting 2 different heroes, getting the rearm, getting a fast boot to travel, you know, going back and forth, farming the lane, and then, of course, ganking when possible. Just a really strong pickup. You know, to throw on top of that, we got the slow and the stun from Chaos Knight and the Tide Hunter. We got Clinks who can come out just out of thin air, it seems, and, you know, just really burst some towers and heroes down. You know, he's got a lot of potential there. Shadow Shaman, of course, has 2 different CCs, and on top of that, just, you know, a lot of great potential himself. The game is paused immediately. Looks like Orange might be having some trouble coming in, and we got an AFK. So in the meantime, I'll go over who's running who here. We got Angel running here on the Enigma. Tux going to be on the Ricky. Vacus 742 on the Queen of Pain. BGTS on the Nature's Prophet. And Zurin will be on Orange. Oh boy. Now I have to remember who that is. I'll come back to it. It'll come back to me. In the meantime, we got Nanash on the Shadow Shaman. You know, I honestly can't pronounce that name. I'm going to call him Misai. How about that's a lot easier? That's not even close to his name, but it's a lot easier for me as the caster. He's going to be running that Clinks hero. EGE on the Chaos Knight, Electric on the Tinker, and then we got our good friend Atrasa, and that's going to be on the Tide Hunter. So there's your lineups for the game. Waiting, like we said, for the pause to get everyone situated and ready to go in this game. Going to be really interesting to see how this goes, of course. You know, definitely going to be interesting on the lineups, how they're going to run things. We got some interesting diagrams already. That's beautiful. I think we all know what they're trying to draw out the shape there. Oh, that's a much mightier one. So how they're going to run these lanes, you know, it's going to be interesting. They've got different options to go here. I would have to think it's going to be Enigma in a solo lane, perhaps, but then again, you know, it really could be either way. I still believe Chaos Knight is going to be running with that Tide Hunter and now the Shadow Shaman, leading the Tinker in the middle, and that would put Clinks in the side solo down here. So, you know, that would be really good for them. Meanwhile, you know, Queen of Pain in the middle has always been a really powerful force. You know, aids to do a lot of things. Lich! That's who Zurin's going to be. Lich, of course. Yeah, that's how it would be. You know, so he's going to support that Ricky. They might actually run the middle, which wouldn't surprise me in the least. You know, that would make a lot of sense. So we're going to have to see how they decide to go, though. They could put him just in the safe lane bottom, get a lot of good farm up, and, you know, hopefully get him to just mid to late game, just be able to stop all these heroes. And I don't think he'd have a lot of issues with it, honestly. You know, with that smoke cloud setup, and with his team just having the Enigma, all these different presences, Frost Arm on top of him, he'd be really hard to take down. And especially if you got that Diffusal Blade, you know, draining a ton of mana. Clinks without mana, Chaos Knight without mana, just not nearly as effective. You're not going to probably get through Tinker's Mana in the mid to late game, but you can sure as hell try. We're definitely going to have to figure this out. Apparently, Vicus seems to be confident that he might be losing this matchup. Hopefully not. Hopefully at least. I like the picks. I think the picks are going to make this game very interesting if everyone plays up to their capacity. So we're going to have to see if they do. Are we waiting on... Still waiting on this Lich guy? Is that what the case is? Do you have to go get a snack before the match? Forgot to eat. I wouldn't be as surprised. Still fapping. Okay, well, some people take longer than others. We're not going to judge the length of the duration of this, but hopefully it's not too much longer now. So we're going to wait around here, see how they do this, how they run these things, these lanes. Oh no, it could be anything. Around here, no one had a chance to buy items. It was an immediate pause, so we're not even going to see how people are starting to run their lane ups. Not too much to talk about right before the game begins. I wish I had more to talk about the teams, but unfortunately, like I said, I'm not too knowledgeable yet. I'm going to do my research for a while, but until then, does this Dire team have a team name? Anyone throw me a bone here? Not sure. But, anyway, it's going to be a couple teams facing off here. Engineer Vicar says so. I think got some interesting artworks going on. Quite the drawing forces here. I can draw something, but I'm a broadcaster, so whatever the heck I'm drawing, it's not going to be seen. I can draw a big heart. Because I love you. Okay, that's enough art coming from me. I am not the art major. I wish my co-caster wasn't so AFK. Oh, he is not. Hold on, I might be having a co-caster. Sorry for the volume, everybody. Hey, buddy. I'm shoutcasting a match right now. I'm in the middle of it.
Oh, well, glad to join you, my friend.
Yeah, well, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. Who's match you shoutcasting?
Well, it's a scrimmage. It's our good friends here with the Angel and his team versus a team I do not know. So it's
you don't know.
Team I don't know.
A strong group.
Yeah, I don't know their history, but
well,
I've heard that they've done things in the past.
A team largely based in mystery. They don't like their strategies to get out. That kind of thing. So there you go.
Of course, that's how it's going to be. And unfortunately, I hope not too many of the players are cheating and watching my stream, because I don't think I put a delay on it, because it was so last minute. So if you're please don't watch my stream, or else I've got to shut down, and I'm going to have to restart with a delay. This was so last minute, and I was spamming you. I'm like, where's BDLM? I'm ready to jump on this thing. And I wonder if you can just spectate my game, can't you, and just follow along?
Yeah, I think I can.
Well, just give that a shot.
I'm going to try and get on that right now. See what I can do.
I've been in the middle of a big pause for now.
Excellent. So, So what are the
pickups?
What's interesting? What's been going on? Fill me in, my friend. What do I have here? What amazing quad kills have been going on left, right, and center?
Well, since the game's been paused since the beginning, not
all
a whole
of them,
lot.
then, is the answer.
Yeah, so
7 to 12.
The only thing, there's been a couple really cool picks. There's been the Ricky pickup. I'd like that one. It was actually last pick, so kind of threw them off guard, I think.
Mm.
And then we have a Clinks and a Chaos Knight on the other team on the Dire. So maybe we're going to look at do some good setups here. I'm not sure. The Clinks could do some good pushing in the side solo. I have no idea who's going where, though. I was kind of trying to predict lanes. It just seemed to be getting harder and harder for me as I kept picking heroes. So I was just starting.
Excellent.
I was like, well, maybe at least I'll see when they come in the game. I'll have an idea when they buy and things. And sure enough, they pause immediately. So I have no idea who's doing what yet. So it's been really hard to find conversation bits, to be honest.
Well, I'm glad I'm here to help. I unfortunately can't actually join the Dota 2 game itself, but I guess I may have to watch.
You could watch my stream, and since I failed with the delay thing. you know, you can follow right along.
Alrighty, man. Let me see if I can get in on that.
Let me look at the gold graph. It's 0. It is still 0.
Wow.
Dead even.
That's an amazingly close game.
Yeah, I've never seen the likes of this before, honestly, until just now. Oh boy. Yeah, Lich is apparently very quote-unquote busy, so wait for him to come back from wherever he is. I don't know. Okay, have you seen the team lineups yet, or do you want me to go over them really quick?
What is the 5th on the Radiant side?
That would be Lich.
Lich?
Yes. Who do you like initially as a team?
I'm still reading. I'm still trying to soak it in, you know? Well, when you bring up your own screen, it's hard for me to actually see what the picks are.
I'm sorry. I got a little PM there, and you know, made it a little harder.
No worries. Man, both teams are really strong. I really like the team fight potential that's in both of them. I mean, obviously, on the Radiant side, you have the Enigma Black Hole, and that put together with the Queen of Pain ulti, as well as even the Riki Clouds, can be devastating. Yeah. But of course, like, Tinker can just do a ton of damage. And then if you have a fight on top of the Shadow Shaman wards, as well as a Tidehunter Ravage, I mean, there's a lot of potential on both sides. Yeah, it's really, I think, going to come down to who actually winds up getting the initiation. I mean, both sides have an Invis hero, but I mean, if Riki and Queen of Pain are able to jump in on somebody, they're immediately going to have the Nature Prophet support, and I think that's something that the Dire is going to have to really pay attention to. Yeah,
like I was saying before you joined in, you know, if Riki gets a really quick Diffusal Blade and gets that, like, really quick mana drain on his auto attacks, against heroes like Clinks and Chaos Knight and Tidehunter, if he can just get a good few hits draining that mana, that could be a difference in them getting their spells off or not. You know, especially couple that with how much gank ability, like you said, this team has on top of that. Just Enigma with a great CC, Nature's Prophet with the mobility, Lich, just, I don't want to think about Lich. Lich and Enigma, that combo alone is just one of the most beautiful things if they put it together right. You know?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, yeah, if they do get a really good Black Hole, it's going to be devastating for the Dire side, for sure. And that's what I'm saying. I think it's really going to come down to the initiation here. And, you know, the other thing, too, is Tinker's going to have to be careful where he TPs, because obviously he might not be able to keep tabs on Riki Maru. So he could very easily TP into a lane to try and farm it, have Riki come out with the Cloud and with the Diffusal Blade and just tear him apart.
Absolutely. And the Lich looks like he's back in for some action.
Fantastic.
So I think they're going to go. All right. It's not going to get remade after all. Unfortunately for you, it's not going to get remade. But you'll have to keep watching through my stream, unfortunately, for yourself. Yeah. Let me know, by the way, if the quality, if something needs to get changed. Your firsthand, some good feedback
fantastic.
for that. Oh, that's good to hear.
Let me tell you, it's amazing. I'm actually really curious to see. I imagine we're gonna have a Queen of Pain going mid, the Enigma top. Of course, the Nature's Prophet could also take the solo, but I imagine he'll probably go into the jungle. And I mean that the Lich Riki combo, I think, is actually going to be pretty good, because there really isn't a whole lot of early game push on the Dire half, too. I mean, this is one of those situations where Lich is a beautiful pick, kind of like we started seeing right when Dota 2 first started getting played. He was so strong because he keeps great control in the lane. It wasn't until people started picking heroes that were really good at early pushing that he really started to have issues. So I think that's actually going to be pretty great.
Yeah, I have to apologize to them. I don't have the delay. I was not prepared to stream this match at all. And like I said, I have no delay on it. And if they, you know, depending on what we're saying and they're watching, it could be really bad for them. I'm going to try to keep it not too specific until, you know what I mean? You know, like if they're going for Roshan. What is this? Roshan attempt? No, I mean, like, I don't know. We'll play it by ear. You know, do our best here. What, kind of like DreamHack, maybe? You know, try to practice like that.
Yeah, of course.
You know
of course.
how it is. But either way, I kind of was predicting this middle play. I did kind of maybe expect this to happen for the Radiant side, who they're running here, just because who they plan to be up against here. That, you know, you would think the Tinker, based on these picks, would go middle. So therefore, you know, running this Riki Lich against them is going to do, I think, a pretty good job. I mean, he's going to have the rockets. But besides that, you know, if Lich gets a good slow on him, he's going to take a ton of damage from Riki.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to see how this Tinker's going to build. I mean, there's also the option of leveling March as well to try and keep some kind of control in the lane that's going to be able to perhaps keep the Ricky at bay. We're actually going to have Tidehunter coming here in the middle lane. Are they going to be able to try and do something? No, he's just coming down to try and ensure that Tinker's going to be able to get some farm. So nice rotation there. He won't be too far back. So now he might actually be able to stick to the laser rocket build.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the smartest choice here. Meanwhile, we got Nature Prophet running one against, well, it's 2.5. There's a little Tidehunter image here. But basically, it's going to be Chaos Knight and Shadow Shaman versus him. So if he gets caught with a stun or a CC, he's got no way to get out of it. And it could be a really dangerous situation for him at that point.
Absolutely. I had the pleasure of playing against a Chaos Knight and another stunner as a side lane solo, and let me tell you, it's just the greatest
Initiation
sign you can
top.
have.
There's it's only a 1 second stun. They try Reality Rift. They're still going for it. Good amount of damage, but he actually does survive, as it turns out, very close. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. He can level up his shackles, and there's nothing Nature Prophet can do to interrupt it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little behind on the stream here, so this is on you, buddy, to call some of this action, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, it's good that he was able to get away there, because if you open up that lane and really let TK get an advantage, I mean, obviously when he hits 6, he's going to be able to push and just be able to tear other heroes apart. So it's definitely good that Nature's Prophet was able to stay up there.
Yeah, but he's got to play super safe here. But he is level 3. He's still getting a really good amount of experience, actually, surprisingly. You know, you would think he'd be pretty denied at this point. But he's staying in there, you know, risking it at the end of the day. Maybe eventually Enigma will be nice enough to share some of those creeps. We'll see how the game, I guess, kind of turns out. Obviously, you do want Enigma to get a lot of farm as possible, though. And he's got the recipe for the Soul Ring, too. So he's going to go quick Soul Ring and hopefully, you know, be able to just continue that really quick farm to maybe go for, I don't know, a Blink Dagger or possibly Mechanism.
Yeah. Actually, I'm really looking here in this middle lane. This Enigma has the Invis rune. He might actually be able to make something happen here. None of these heroes really have a good escape. So if we have the Cloud from Riki, that might actually be very possible to take one of these heroes out.
Dangerous to say that on my stream. Dangerous.
Dangerous.
Because what if they're listening? Now they know. Well, like I said, we'll try to work with it. I know. And, you know, we're going to do our best here. It actually looks like there's a little initiation. Here we go. Here comes the stun by Tinker, but it only is one time because Enigma only has it leveled up 1 rank, so it was not a couple pulses instead. Now some actually big turnaround damage coming down to Lich, down to 137 health. He's going to have to use a healing salve, and there he goes. So he's going to go right back up to full. So pretty good, decent damage, but it wasn't enough to take out the Tinker. He's going to be just fine. Has that quick bottle already, so you know he's going to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, good heads-up play by the Tidehunter there, being able to get that gush out as soon as he was able to slow down the Riki. Definitely saved Tinker's life. So, good play by both sides there. But yeah,
Riki is actually getting initiated on. Oh my goodness, if only Tinker could have gotten a spell. Oh, he doesn't have Heat-Seeking Missile. He only has March of Machines at level 2. That would have been a kill if he actually had the point in Heat-Seeking Missile instead. Really unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, all of his spells are so attractive. It's really hard to say that there's like one true way to go because, like I said earlier, it's going to be really easy for him to keep control of that lane with the March of Machines, and then as they move into the later parts of the game, like right when Shadow Shaman hits level 6 as well, if that March of Machines is a high level, they're going to be able to push down towers very easily. It's going to be very difficult for the Radiant team to contest it.
Exactly. I mean, Clinks, Shadow Shaman, and Tinker, amazing pushers, and especially in the early mid-game. You know, if they get that really high pressure up with the wards and the Tinker's March Machines, they could take towers with little trouble. And, you know, when you have a hero like Lich who's just denying creeps, you know, that's just going to be definitely in the way of the other team. So, yeah, we'll have to see if they do apply that pressure, as you said. Like, if he continues to level that March Machines and Laser instead of Heat-Seeking Missile.
My dead body.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Which right now he does. He has 2 points in the Laser. So, really likes that pure damage. Can't blame him there. Obviously, it's a very nice, effective thing, but he is against 2 heroes, so you would think Heat-Seeking Missile will be actually pretty effective against this lane he's against.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand leveling the Laser, especially against Riki Marsh. Getting that mischance is huge. So maybe help him out of dodge in that respect.
Definitely. Okay, he's put both points in Sacrifice, and of course the Frost Blast. Pretty typical Lich build. Let's see how the farm's looking. It looks like Queen of Pain and Riki are very high up there. Actually, the Dire is really farmed down here. Let's look at the gold graphic. It's about 1,500 already in the favor just from farm alone because there's been no kills yet in the game. So they're actually pulling ahead pretty decently here.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Radiant have a jungler, so they're going to get that extra advantage. They have those extra resources to try and pull from with those jungle creeps. So, yeah, they're going to be getting kind of that steady advantage. So, hopefully, the Dire will be able to get some kind of rebuttal here, be able to maybe pick up a kill early on, get the nice first blood, which hasn't gone out yet, actually, at 5:40 into the game. It's kind of would expect something to have happened by now, but of course, this middle lane stayed very volatile, just not quite been enough damage from either side to ensure a kill.
Absolutely. Just some good harassment Lich all around. Oh, I missed it. First blood on the bottom lane. It looks like that Clinks was just not ready. There is, in fact, this ward here, and that is probably what did him in. And now they're looking to push. They have the Eidolons up with the Queen of Pain just auto-attacking away. She went in really quick Arcane Boots, actually. So going to keep the mana up, be able to push this very easily. I really like that idea in this lane.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I'm actually curious to see what the Enigma is going to wind up doing, if he's going to go to max Malphus first or the Eidolons. What does he want, the push potential, or does he want the extra stun ticks? It's kind of a key choice for all Enigmas to make. Are we really going to be able to try and get the ganks, or do we just want to be able to burst down those tier 1 towers?
Absolutely. And I mean, they have a great pushing team, especially Nature's Prophet. I think when he just gets a couple more levels, he'll be teleporting around, like coming bottom, like if that happens again. I definitely would expect him to teleport there with the Treants and just take the tower. They'd have no trouble doing so. Ooh, what is this? What is this Shadow Shaman doing? He's looking around. He's got the boots, but he doesn't have anything else. So I don't know if he's looking to set something up, or he's just kind of scouting it out here to see if the creeps here are going to be aggressive on him. Probably not, but
Yeah, it's a great Radiant ward to keep an eye on that. I mean, we always typically see the beginning wards placed at the river, especially in pub games, but this is another great ward location just to make sure everybody's...
Action's going to go down. The Shadow Shaman gets killed by the Riki. Really good setup. He was definitely out of place, and his team could just not help him out there, so really good kill there for Riki.
Yeah, I mean, he was sitting there a little bit too long, trying to wait for something to happen, and of course, Lich just ran around the other side and was able to catch him out there. And like I was saying, that's a really great location for a ward, and also, especially when you're playing against heroes like Beastmaster, against heroes like Dragon Knight, a great place to put a ward to stop the farm.
Knight solos the Nature's Prophet. I'm not surprised, because he's quite a crazy good hero. But definitely takes it down. Has the treads and the soul ring, so easily doing a ton of damage. Doesn't have a point in his ultimate yet. Just maxing out that Chaos Bolt first, then the Reality Rift. But definitely not a bad idea, especially because at the first rank it's only the one illusion. Not going to help you nearly as much as when it gets to the higher ranks. So definitely understandable. Nature's Prophet, he's level 6 and has an ult. So, he's kept up an experience, which against that lane, is really impressive, I think, on his part.
Yeah, I mean, just the single death, considering the two heroes he was up against. I think, it's unfortunate it went down there, but, I mean, that's still doing pretty good, all considered. And, yeah, I mean, now that he has that ult up, they have an additional means of pushing. And we can see here, actually, a lot of Radiant heroes grouped up in this middle lane.
Here comes
They're going to try and take this
Angel.
tower.
Angel's going to go in, but actually gets hexed before he does anything at all. Tinker's going to fire off the laser into March Machines. March Machines doing a really good amount of damage to all those minions here. That's going to definitely shut down the push for now. So really good job there, getting that set up. And he was looking to go in, but he doesn't even have his ulti yet. Enigma's not level 6, so just going in for just purely the Malefice, I guess. It wasn't quite enough to do anything, though. So, they're still going to try to put the pressure up here. March Machines, though, really good at stopping that, but it's still on cooldown. Good look to see if they can do anything here. Tidehunter's just chilling off on the side. Here comes some more Treants. Are they going to be able to push this is the question. Not a lot of them have their ultimates yet, and I don't know if they can really take anything down without it. Have to see what happens here. Protection comes up now for the tower. March Machines included, doing a ton of damage to those train protectors. Going to get a lot of them down, but they're still going strong. Shadow Shaman trying to clear him out. He's like, get out of here with the Ether Shock, please. But not quite in deny range. So they hold it off, but they're not able to die quite yet.
Yeah, I mean, before the Tidehunter Ravage comes up, there's really not a whole lot they can do to stop the Radiant team that's all grouped up trying to push towers, which they certainly will be. I mean, like we were saying earlier, just the number of creeps that they're able to add to each wave between the Nature's Prophet and the Enigma is a little absurd, and especially at this point in the game, we could see actually that the Nature's Prophet was prioritizing leveling up those treants. So even though he wasn't in the jungle, he was really interested in being able to get as many trees up as possible and be able to get the strongest trees as possible to be able to help take some of these tier 1 towers and get an advantage for his team.
Absolutely. Shashan picks up the Illusion Rune now, looking to just roam around. Isn't 6 yet either. so it isn't going to do a lot. Lich is 6, which could make a huge difference in the next kind of grouping fight they have. Of course, that ult does so much damage. Now they're actually roaming around top here. They're going to have 4 heroes up here top in a little bit here. And meanwhile, TP is coming in now for the Dire. They're not looking to give this up without a fight. Does the Enigma have his ulti? Not quite yet. He is so close to 6, but he doesn't have it. Chaos Knight now looking to go on to this Nature's Prophet. 4-second stun onto him. Good Malphite to follow up, though. But look how much burst damage is going to happen. That's going to be the fall of him, but not before Shadow Shaman takes a ton of damage as well. Lich Ult going off, but only hitting one target. Not doing a lot. Nature's Prophet buys back now. Going to look to TP in. Right next to Chaos Knight. Going to try to use the Sprout. Does get it off in time, but Chaos Knight just goes right through that with the Quelling Blade. Not going to slow him down. And all in all, it was just a 1-for-1 trade. Shadow Shaman did fall, but Nature's Prophet buying back is going to keep this push up. They don't have protection because they used it just earlier, and this is definitely going to be a dead top 1. Tier 1, sorry, tower.
I think we just saw what may have been the most critical 1 creep ever. If you happen to notice Enigma's experience bar before going into that fight, he was just off level 6, man. If you had had 2 more creep kills, that fight could have gone completely differently and gotten the Radiant team a much larger advantage. But, I mean, there you go. That's just the game of Dota being so close and so far away, not being able to get that huge team fight ability. They are able to take the tier 1 tower, though, so advantage to the Radiant.
Yeah, and they're going to definitely keep up the push, I would have to think. I mean, they're just their team is built for it, you know, with all these heroes. Oh, Queen of Pain almost getting caught by a shackle. That could have been really painful with the clinks on top of that. Just do all that damage. Maxing out the searing arrows, of course. Now putting points in Skeleton Walk. Going to have to see how to do it. There's a lot of pings coming out for the defense of this tier 1 tower for the Dire. So I guess he's getting a little skeptical here. It is now in deny range, I believe, 119 health. So is he going to look to start denying this? Here comes the Enigma and the Lich and the Riki from behind. He is going to drop almost instantly. And then there's 4 heroes for the Radiant. Going to push this tower, and there it is. Lich getting the kill for it.
Yeah, that was really nice, too, by Angel, making the Eidolons first, that the tower would start going on those originally to make sure that, well, A, he would have some additional damage to try and take down that Tinker, but also saving his teammates from 1 or 2 tower hits, just ensuring that that Tinker kill would happen and they wouldn't have any kind of repercussions.
Absolutely. Definitely a smart choice there. And he's actually almost finished up his mech. So they're definitely going to keep that early push. I really love that idea instead of the Blink Dagger. Because obviously they're trying to push as many early towers to get full map control. Keep the Dire back on their heels. You know, it makes a lot of sense. They don't really need the initiation. They're having no trouble just walking straight up past the tower and saying, "Sup, let's do this." So, you know, the mech's just going to add on top of that. But they have to be wary now. Tidehunter did hit 6 all in all, and now he's going to be, you know, looking to, if he can get that ult off with everyone else, I think that could be really crazy in that team fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think, pardon me, Tide levels are going to be really important.
Blinks to get ulted. Oh, it barely hits by the tip. Sorry to cut you off, but that was just one of those ults. You know what I'm talking about with Queen of Pain. You're going to see it where it just barely nips the tip.
Yes, just the tip. You know, that's all that really matters at the end of the day, right?
Oh, boy.
But I think the Tidehunter is actually going to be really crucial to this game now. I mean, there is a decent amount of counter push in the Shadow Shaman and in the Tinker, but the Anchor Smash, too, is going to be a huge part of being able to stop this Radiant onslaught that's going to continue to push. I mean, they have cleared out all the Tier 1 towers now, just have the Tier 2s to go, but, you know, the Dire team don't have any of that early tower gold, and that can really help get a lot of their late game heroes, the CK, the Clinks, in a good position to really try and fight this push.
Absolutely. You see some Enigma images just kind of browsing around, just seeing what's going on. Meanwhile, the top lane, it's Riki for CK, and CK's kind of backing off. Not sure what he wants to do. He doesn't have any points in the crit or ult, and he actually... Okay, is that... Did he put points in stat over his ult in Chaos Trick? Because this is what it looks like to me.
To believe he
Interesting.
did.
I have never seen that before. So, I mean, you know, there's definitely different debates on that. I would think by level 10 he put a point in it, so at level 11 he could have a second rank of his ultimate. That would be my prediction. Because, like I said, once you get that second point, it's definitely a lot more effective.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that's a little weird, because you could also say, you know, if you did that, you'd have the level 9 point in the crit, so that by 10 and 11, your images would have that critical strike as well. So very interesting. They didn't want to go for that first point.
And
I mean, obviously a very low percentage, but still, I mean, just that potential for extra burst damage.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you. I'm a man of chance, though. I like to roll the dice. So, I mean, I'll put that point in crit whenever. But, of course, these people have different evaluations for these different things. He did point the level 10 point into Phantasm, so that would definitely make me think we're right about what he's going to do with his level 11th point. So there we go. Actually, Enigma did max out the Demon conversions, as you were asking about earlier. So definitely, it makes a lot of sense. Keeping the push up, like we were saying, that's what their focus is right now. Nature's Prophet, in the meantime, doing exactly just that up top with the treants and his ults, just kind of messing around, doing his thing. Chaos Knight ports back top now, has that armlet, so going to be putting out some fierce damage if he can lock on to someone.
Yeah, I was noticing too when you were browsing.
Oh, the ult actually, Queen of Pain, but gonna get shackled. Is he gonna be able to finish off? Yes, he is. Okay, here comes the stun follow-up. Clinks survived with barely any health. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah, that was really close. Unfortunately, no Shadow Strike on him to be able to get that last hit. But
Now
here goes.
Go ahead. Oh,
Here goes a tier 2 tower. Oh, it looks like Nature's Prophet going to try and come in here and get a kill on the Tinker. He will grab that. I hope it's not too far behind. Picking up another kill here. The Radiant team just continuing to keep up this pressure. Now has twice the score of the Dire team. Dire Straits indeed.
I am definitely... Oh, that was a good one.
Sorry.
I liked it. Yeah, I'm going to definitely call action from now on because there is a small delay, apparently.
There is.
So, nice try, though. I do like the call. It was just like I was already watching, like, the corpse go into the ground. And I was like, oh, there it falls. But that's okay. This is kind of a learning experience, see how this works when you have to watch my stream.
There you go.
Here we go with the defense. A port was going to go in, but it looks like it's going to get canceled. Probably a smart decision because everyone else is just waiting around there. Initiation now on the Shadow Shaman. The Fusel Blade's going to pop up, blow him up. Shadow Shaman is done. But there's a stun going on the Tinker. Tidehunter, huge ult, going to hit 4 heroes. Lich drops instantly. Now they're going to follow up. Enigma gets a great ult, but it's not going to be nearly enough. Clinks is going to now fall. And now the Shackle is on Queen of Pain. She is going to drop. That's 3 heroes down for the Radiant from only 1 on the Dire. And then Ricky is going to barely survive. As well as Nature Prophet. Actually, I believe he just teleported back. Or did he die? He might have. And bought back. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I didn't notice
great
myself.
Fight for the Dire.
Yeah, that was just a beautiful defense. And, I mean, there's just the power of the Tidehunter Ravage. I mean, the Radiant team were just able to go in and actually you can see Riki picks up another kill on the Shadow Shaman. We can see the Radiant were able to get in there and do what they wanted to do, pick off the hero early, but because of that Ravage and just the huge radius it has, he was able to come from behind and really help generate some kills for his team and really turn that fight around. But something I wanted to say earlier is, we were shopping through the abilities. You just mentioned that the Rikimaru Diffusal Blade was used. All these early towers are just giving him so much space to farm up. And yeah, now that he has that Diffusal Blade, they have to be really careful on the Dire side of the board. And now that they're losing more and more towers, their vision is going down dramatically.
Absolutely. I wonder if Clicks is going to try to open this up. He is invisible, but he doesn't have a lot of items. He's only got the treads and the Ring of Aquila. He doesn't have anything like a Silence Stick or anything to really get some initiation on. But, ooh, here comes Shadow Shaman. Is he going to get the CC down? Oh no, they just missed the opportunity and he doesn't have any dust. Oh, actually, Ricky's like, screw that, buddy, I'm going in. And he's going to just almost kill him, but not in time. Here comes the Shackle. Ricky is definitely good. Wow. He is not going to fall. And here comes Nature's Prophet now to see if he can finish the job. And he does, but not before taking a ton of damage from Clinks. Can Clinks follow this up? No, he is not. So they actually turn that around and get a kill on the Shadow Shaman again.
Wow, that was pretty crazy. I mean, on both sides. Ricky being very ballsy, trying to pick up that last kill, but the Nature's Prophet being really heads up, trying to make sure that his buddy doesn't fall.
I just love... I'm sorry, there was more initiation on the Clinks, but I didn't call it because I knew he was going to get away, but I probably should have anyways. But anyways, the Sentry Ward, they have a ton of these Sentry Wards. Like, they are not afraid to buy them. I love it. They got the Dust, they got that Sentry. They're just ready for this Clinks anywhere he could possibly be. They don't want to give away those kills, kind of like what happened with Ricky there.
The other thing you notice is while you have your cursor on this Enigma, he does have a smoke, so he is actually ready to help his team move around and try and pick up extra ganks, as if the Rikimaru invisibility was not enough. But you were mentioning earlier the Clinks not really having any items to be able to try and take out the Rikimaru. I really think Orchid Malevolence would be a beautiful item pickup, because of course you can use it on the Enigma, and then of course to shut down the escape mechanisms of the Queen of Pain and the Rikimaru.
Absolutely. Just would be a terrific item. It's always been a great item just for the mana regen, the attack speed, to go with his searing arrows and his just burst damage as it is. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think it would make a lot of sense. And you actually see there could be something going on. There's a lot of movement around the map. Ricky's by himself in the top lane, but they actually are going to spot out. Lich is going to drop the ult. And it's only going to bounce once, unfortunately for them. Tidehunter very, very low. But now the Reality Rift on Lich. This is going to be a 2-second stun with the rockets. Here comes the mech heal, but it's not nearly enough. And they're going to keep the fight going. Tidehunter with a beautiful ult. He is going to drop here, but not before they get some more high damage off. Ricky's going to do as much as he can with his Chaos Knight. He does use the item on him to slow him down, but now he's got to be careful. He's got to turn invisible. And once again, more initiation. Queen of Pain pacing around, running around like a madman. They're going to actually drop him. Enigma ulting just to support Shadow Shaman, but they really don't like him. And he is going to fall. Triple kill for the Queen of Pain. And she is going to survive. They're going to pick off these things. Or are they? Beautiful rockets and the laser. And the Martian is trying to get the kill. No, it's not enough. And that is going to be, hopefully, the end of this crazy fight.
Wow, Ricky, as we saw, 34 health. It just barely gets away. We can see now, actually, Tinker is just letting the Martian Machines down on the wards because he doesn't want the Radiant team to farm them. They actually do give a huge amount of money, and that's one reason that a lot of people really don't like laying the Shadow Shaman wards out in the open field, just in case they do wind up losing the team fight. They're going to just give the other side of the board that much more money because of their ability to farm those.
Absolutely. Queen of Pain does finish the Aghamon's Scepter. Oh, that's going to be beautiful for those team fights. And just keeping the cooldown super low, definitely helps spreads the pushes around, spread the gank ability around. I love seeing that item on her. I've probably said it a million times, but it definitely rings a bell. Enigma's probably going to save for that blink, I would think, at this point. He's got 1,300. That would probably be like the icing on the cake for their team fights. Queen of Pain and Lich ulti together, if they can get 3 or 4 heroes, there's no coming back from that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the amount of synergy this team has potentially, they could just absolutely rip the Dire team apart. And I think, as we saw in that big engagement middle on the Tier 2 tower on the Dire side, the Tidehunter's staying really far away. He doesn't want to accidentally be caught in that Enigma ulti, because as long as he's free, he's going to be able to stop the Enigma ulti with the Ravage.
Absolutely. So it is definitely a big factor. They're going to have to try to lock down as many heroes. They have a lot of CC in general. Ooh, a lot of grouping up. Ricky's actually going in, very ballsy-like. Queen of Pain just used that ultimate, going to pick off the Tinker right away. Ricky's still in a lot of trouble. Here comes the Shackle on him. 4 staffs try to keep him away. There's going to be another kill now. Tidehunter finishes off the Ricky, but is it going to be worth it? Tidehunter's going to definitely fall here, as well as the Shadow Shaman. 4 heroes down. Chaos Knight's forced to retreat, and that's a Ricky for 4. I don't think that trade will ever be worth it.
No, I mean, the bright side is Chaos Knight gets away, but yeah, I mean, obviously a 1 for 4. There are very few situations in which you could ever say that could even come close to maybe breaking even. Yeah, I don't think so. I would also like to thank you for the phrase ballsy-like. That is going to immediately be on a t-shirt and sent directly to your house. Yes. Thank you for that moment.
Oh, you're welcome. Just spur of the moment. That's what these kind of beautiful moments happen. It's like, you're an artist. You understand. That's just,
of course,
inspiration comes from thin air,
Exactly.
This gold graph, 10,000, 50, or 7,000 experience, that kind of makes a lot of sense here.
Absolutely. I mean, just all these towers going down, it's hard to fight. And again, we look at the Radiant side, and they've got green everywhere. There are towers up everywhere you would expect to have one. We actually have Tinker trying to go down that bottom lane and look to push it, but Ricky is actually down there safeguarding it to make sure that Tinker isn't able to pick up that kill, while the rest of the Radiant team looks to take down Roshan and get an even bigger advantage. I'm actually interested. I guess they would probably wind up putting the Aegis onto Queen of Pain, but Clink actually scouts this out. He sees that they're doing this, and they're actually not killing it very quickly. He might be able to come in here and say, oh, hey guys, they're trying to do Roshan, and I don't see Ricky Maru. He might still be bottom. They might be able to set up something here. We'll have to see. Nope. There you go. Okay, yeah, I guess as I'm saying that, and your stream being a little bit behind, you may already know that the Aegis gets picked up by the Enigma. Some of us have to wait.
That's okay. Understandable. But, I mean, the thing is, what's really interesting there, I think, is that they are taking a while to do it, and I've been saying they've been just really relentlessly dropping all these Sentry Wards and everything. That'd be probably the one place I would guarantee drop a Sentry Ward, especially against the Clinks. I
Yeah,
don't know.
for sure.
But it worked out in their favor. They didn't have to sacrifice anything for it. Got a really free Aegis. Just raise that gold advantage. Another, 1,500? Why not? Just throw it in there in their faces. Chaos Knight's actually getting really close to on that BKB, which will be very, very helpful. But, at the end of the day, I think Bolt, if he still captures the minute, it's going to affect him. And if they don't have the Tidehunter to interrupt that, they could be in a lot of trouble either way. I don't know.
Unfortunately, a wasted smoke ink. I was actually really kind of looking at the mini-map to see all the drawing that's going on, and you can see the Radiant drawing around, like, yeah, we want to try and get this last Tier 2 tower so we can secure just complete map control now. Unfortunately, not able to get anything with that smoke that I mentioned earlier on the Enigma.
It's very, very true. And Nature's Prophet has an urn, a force staff, and looks like he's going towards a pipe. I like this. It's so selfless of him. He gets all this farm and then just spends it on team items. And it's exactly what they need, because obviously they have no intention of stopping the push. So, what would you rather have? A Scythe against a Chaos Knight who's going to be Black King Bar soon, or a pipe against all that AoE magic damage from Tinker and Shadow Shaman?
Yeah, I mean, as they say, necessity the mother of invention, and here we see a nice invention of a Nature's Prophet build. Definitely haven't seen this before, but like you said, it makes a ton of sense. It's really just going to help them be able to get over that hump into the Tier 3 towers, into the Dire base, to try and get those down and shoot for some Raxes.
Yeah, and actually, Ricky finishes his Black King Bar. So, was kind of getting sick of all the stuns and slows they had going for them. And it was like, enough's enough. I've got to be able to hold my own in these fights. And sure enough, he definitely will be able to now. So we'll have to see how it goes. Tinker starting to finally get a little bit of farm, but he's just so far behind from that early start and just not able to keep up with how much farm these other players are getting. I mean, 2,500 gold on the Queen of Pain again with the Perseverance. So maybe going for... I don't know, what a null stone?
I would believe it would be a Lincoln Sphere, yeah. I mean, we can see the Enigma also picks up a BKB, so they're really concerned with the amount of CC that the Dire team has. I mean, you already mentioned Shadow Shaman can already do so much, and the CK as well. Just being able to try and take those spells out of the equation, I think is going to be really important for their success in pushing these Tier 3 towers.
Absolutely. Enigma, okay. Angel's just going to play mind games with me. Instead of getting the blink, he's definitely went for a Black King Bar, which I definitely like as well. It kind of works in a very similar fashion. If he can run in there with that on, they have actually no way to interrupt it on their team. So that's really just as effective, if not possibly more.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really need to jump in and catch the Dire off guard. I mean, you think that the Dire can probably assume he's going to be lurking around with that black hole. And like I was saying earlier, you're probably going to expect the Tidehunter to be sitting off on the side to try and interrupt that, have some of these other Stunners sit off to the side just to make sure that they can try and counter that. So I think the BKB is definitely a good decision.
Absolutely. So they're trying to keep him out. I mean, the March Machines is a really great tool for just that, for keeping pushes at bay. He can rearm and keep putting that up. But for how long? I mean, they have this massive army with all their minions, and you can see it pushing in here again. A 3-second stun goes on one of the Eidolons, followed by the Aether Burst. Going to be enough. Wow, tons of damage on the Tidehunter. Going to Ravage. They're going to try and finish off Enigma as quickly as possible. BKB goes off. Going to get 2 heroes in it, and that's going to be a whole ton of damage. And Chaos Knight also pops his. Going to get trapped in here with them, and that's going to be a triple quill for the Queen of Pain. Triple quill. That is a new term also. Chaos Knight's going to fall, though, and Tinker's going to survive, but it's also one before they have the Aegis, and there's the Resurrection. That is going to be the thing. Shadow Shaman buys him back, but is it him and Tinker going to be enough to stop these 4 heroes? I really don't think so, especially because Shadow Shaman ulti is down. I mean, all he's going to be able to do is Aethershock and hope that's enough, and it really is not.
Yeah, unfortunately, this Tier 3 tower is going to go down. They're going to probably be able to take some Raxes here. Still 7 seconds before their next hero comes up, at least on my screen. So they are... Oh, the glyph pops. They might actually be able to do it.
Falls down. Tinker going to be next in line. Here we go. Are they going to be enough? Queen of Pain taking a ton of damage. Gets the ulti off just before she falls, though. Tidehunter going to finish her off, but wow, really great job there. And here comes the Clinks. Once again, no items. Going to try to run around here with Tidehunter. Opens up here on the Enigma. But that was maybe not the smartest choice here. They're going to use the dust and everything. He's going to be revealed. He is most certainly going to fall. But not before he pops his ulti off. Will he live? No. Lich, okay, Lich gets the last hit. Nature's Prophet trying to now follow the Tidehunter, but he is way too tanky for just a support kind of build Nature's Prophet, and they are just going to fall back. So they do, though, get the tower, but not the barracks. They hold on to the barracks.
Yeah, I mean, just the severe lack of gold on the Dire side is just really showed itself there. I mean, Klink's not able to take down a third health Enigma. It's just really unfortunate. I mean, those first tier 1 towers, even being able to take down 1 or 2, really help you get on your way to first items. And we can see that, you know, Klink's really still struggling to try and pick up an item that's really going to help him change the course of this game.
It's really unfortunate. I mean, he's already 3-7 in this game, so far behind. Only 48 creep score in addition to that. I mean, it's just really difficult for them, and they've only pushed one. No, I'm sorry. All the towers are up. So that just really adds to the deficit. I mean, the goal chart, I'm almost afraid to press this button, but I'm going to do it anyways. Actually, before I do, Ricky going to initiate here on the Klinks. Going to use the Diffusal Blade and the Silence. Oh my gosh, another death for the poor Klinks. And that just feeds the Ricky even more so.
Interesting that he didn't immediately pop the Skeleton Walk to try and get away. He tried to wait it out, and then, got succumbed to the Ricky Cloud, so unable to turn invisible at all there.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Maybe he wasn't prepared for. I mean, no one's really ready for the invisible Ricky, I guess. But just like you said, he didn't have time to react. It was like 4 or 5 hits later, he's gone. So, what do you know? Force Staff finished up on the Tinker. So really great item. We've actually discussed about ways to counter Ricky, and that's an important one, I think, to get people out of that cloud as well as the Enigma cloud as well. You know, 2 really important uses for that.
Certainly.
There's action possible middle here. They're going to go back on the barracks. Ricky's just beating down on it. Here comes the Treants. Just a whole ton of mobs here beating on that melee barracks. It's already down to 200 health. And I think the Treants are going to do it by themselves. Yes, it's finished off. So the melee is down. The range is still at full health. Here we go. Initiation, though, on the Klinks. He falls immediately. And now the pipe goes down. Chaos Knight's going to ulti, but so is Queen of Pain. And who's going to have more attack damage? It looks like Ricky will, and he's going to kill Chaos Knight. Tinker's going to just TP before he can go down quickly. Tidehunter falls. That is 3-0, and that might be close to the end of the game. They're going to switch to bottom and probably push that in.
Yeah, I mean, it's really unfortunate. We saw that the tier 1 tower bottom is actually fairly low, but unfortunately, Tinker just not able to really move away safely to try and push that out. I mean, I think the Radiant team did a really good job of trying to keep the noose tight on the Dire side. As soon as they were able to get those towers down, there really weren't many opportunities to try and get that much-needed tower goal. We can see now, actually, Tinker in the top lane. He's like, no, there's no way I can defend this. The best thing I can do, try and get some team gold. And it actually looks like Nature's Prophet's going to... Oh, nope. Cancels.
Which we kind of expected. But not before action. Nature's Prophet tries to interrupt Tinker, but realizes he has a Force Staff, and it didn't work. But it was a really valiant effort nonetheless.
Oh well. What can you do?
But it was a well-played game. I mean, like I said, when I saw them building this team, I figured that's exactly what they were planning on doing. Just the immense push from Enigma, Nature's Prophet, just those 2 heroes alone, and then, of course, throw anyone else if they get a good gank off, and that's just going to keep the pressure rolling like it did. Really well played all around, and that's good game. Hopefully, in future casts I'll be able to get you in the beginning, and I'll also be more prepared with a delay or something, so I won't feel as bad. But nonetheless, thanks everybody for tuning in to this Dota On Demand presentation. I hope you enjoyed the Scrim. We're going to definitely plan on having a lot more of these kind of impromptu casts along the way, as well as some planned tournaments coming up in the future, but we'll announce those as they come closer. But anyways, as I was saying, thanks for tuning in. BDLM, any final thoughts?
Just really well-executed game there by the Radiant. Was very glad to come in here on the end of this and get to watch a big Queen of Pain ulti dropped on the Dire fountain. But no, man, it's great to be here. We're glad to have everybody tune in.
Alright guys, have a great day, and we'll see you later.